Alright guys, so here's a quick tutorial on the MyFitnessPal app. Right, so I'm going to first open it up. Now, when you first do the app, it's going to ask you to enter in your activity level and your weight and height, and then ask you if you want to gain weight, if you want to lose weight, or if you want to maintain weight. Now, just remember that it's going to tell you how to do this and be healthy doing it. So even if, let's say, your weight, say you got a little bit of fat you're trying to lose and you hit maintain weight, it's going to tell you how to maintain weight correctly. You're still going to go after attacking, any fat that you have. It's not, if you put gain weight, it's not going to tell you how to become a fatter person. It's going to tell you how to be healthy and put on weight, with use of your muscle, right? So I would say for a lot of people, unless you really know that you're kind of overweight, you can just hit maintain and it's going to tell you exactly what to do. So here, this right here shows how many calories in the day you should be eating. Notice my calories are a lot. All I'm doing is maintaining weight. I've done this now for probably 10 days and I can already tell that I feel a lot better, a lot more healthy. I noticed that I was extremely under eating, so I've been hitting my calorie number pretty good. This is yesterday, and you can see at the end of the day I was 2 calories short of my goal. So very important to make sure that you're hitting this number. And what you're going to see is that you are probably under eating big time, which is a major problem for CrossFitters, right? You'll hear a lot of people, oh, I want to get big. Can you get big doing CrossFit? Yeah, you can. You just got to eat. You have to be like a professional eater, right? We work out really hard. You're a part of the hardest working workout program that there is out there, right? So, if you think that you can get by not eating, that's definitely not the way it works, right? And a lot of people don't, when they're first new to this, the first thing they think is, well, if I undereat, I should lose weight, right? Nope, totally wrong, right? You have to eat in order for your body to be fueled correctly, to go hard in workouts, and for your body to burn unwanted fat. So anyway, this is your goal number, right? And then this here is how much food you've eaten. Oop, my bad, back. How much food you've eaten today. So that was my breakfast. It takes into account this little exercise thing here. Don't worry about that. And don't try and track your exercise on here. But it's as my phone bobbles around in my pocket and I walk, I burned 8 calories kind of walking around while I was holding my phone today. I really don't pay attention to that number, but I do pay attention to this, right? 2,270 calories remaining for the day. Now, cool thing about this app is, if you're like me and you're a creature of habit, as soon as you start to eat things and you put it in here, it saves it, right? So organic blueberries, I just get the ones from HEB and I keep them in here in the freezer. Frozen blueberries is awesome. I use it in place of ice for a lot of stuff, protein shake, whatever. But after you put it in one time, it's in there. So every day I eat blueberries for breakfast. It's right there. It pulls up. I'm good to go, right? Once you click on it, it says serving size, a cup, and you'll get good at measuring this stuff. It just takes doing it once or twice, and then you're like, oh, I get it. So number of servings, quarter cup. If I want to mess with that, I can go here and I can update the servings, right? So I just quarter cup kind of every day, right? But put in everything. I've got coffee in there. I've got my HTP that I take in the morning. I've got my fish oils that I take. So I'll put them in after I take those. So now, and again, after you put stuff in there, you're fine, right? If you ever have to add a food, but it's pretty cool, some of the stuff you can do, because you can put anything up in the search bar, search for food. So you can put HEB, whatever, right? Chicken, and there's a good chance that somebody somewhere has inputted it at one time, so it'll pop up. Or what if you're like, oh, I went to a restaurant and I couldn't input my food because whatever. So I'm just going to take like BJ's, just say, or Top Golf. I went there the other night and looked it up. Top Golf. Search. The menu items from Top Golf will start to show up, right? There's their Top Golf Classic Burger, whatever, you know, a lot of this stuff is in there. So, you know, and even if it's not, you know, feel free to guess at something. If you have a burger from someplace and that particular burger isn't in there, just put a burger, try and figure out where you're at. All right, cool. So that part's done. Now, what is really cool about this app, so say you're like, okay, well, I got to hit, you know, 3,000 calories. Does that mean I can just have that cheeseburger? Well, if you're trying to hit that calorie quota, more or less, yes, you can do that. But the big thing comes to down here, this more button. This is the whole part of this app that makes it interesting. Hit this, then you look up here, and you're going to look under nutrition. This button, that nutrition button, is going to be your best friend. This pie chart is extremely important. These are your carbs. You have to hit that goal of your carbs, right? And your carbs, of course, is going to come from fruit, vegetables, and some other things. You know, of course, there's, you know, you hear people talk about bad carbs, bread, and whatnot. You will actually see what happens when you take in those carbs, right? Your carb number is going to be boosted for the day, but your calories are going to be through the roof. You're going to get to the end of the day and be like, oh man, I need some more fat and protein. I'm way over my calorie count, but I still have to get more nutrients in me, but I can't because it's all taken up from all this bad stuff I ate today. So anyway, your fat percentages and your protein percentages. So if they're a little biased in the morning, you know, it's not a big deal because you have the rest of the day to make it up. You know, we just finished with the noon class, so, you know, it's 1:50. About to eat some more food. And by looking at this tracker, I can tell how I want to eat for the rest of the day, right? If I'm way blown out over my fats, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to definitely stay away from my, you know, almond butter and almonds and stuff like that for the rest of the day. My protein's kind of tracking really good. So as always, I struggle with fruits and vegetables. So for the rest of the day, I'm going to be kind of cognizant of that, probably get some sweet potatoes in me and stuff like that. Now, the other thing is I come right here, this button here will show you, if you really want to dig in and look at some of this other stuff, right? It's pretty interesting to see because you'll start realizing why some foods are better than others, you know? So one thing I consistently go over on is my sodium. So by the end of the day, that number is going to be spiked pretty good. And a big one that I do want to point out is your sugars. I would pay particular attention not to make that sugar number go over. And that's really going to, you know, sugars are bad for you no matter what, right? So you're going to see when you're taking on those bad carbs, you'll see this number start to spike. I would say it's pretty important. If nothing else on this page, just pay attention to that number. You know, of course, it's going to show your protein, your fat, and your carbs, but you already have that on that last page. So I would more look at the pie chart for that. But you know, this sheet is good to take a look at. So basically, those are the screens you need to know. Now, there is a friends thing on here, and you'll see we've got some of the people from the box are already on here. We've been looking at their diet and kind of honing in and, you know, letting them know some of the things to fix. But, you know, one thing I do want to point out is you need to make sure that you are setting your settings, and I don't know how you do it, but I've been telling people, hey, you need to set your thing to where I can see your diet. That little icon right here, this like door looking thing, allows me to see what's going on. So Michael Brock, he just made his available. Let's see, there was somebody's I couldn't take a look at. Hers. Okay, Kate's, I sent her a message, but she just got signed up on this and she hasn't made that thing active. You can see it's gray. But Brock just did his, and now I can look at his diet, right? So I can come here, peep on this. I can look at that number right there, that 1207. If I click on this, it allows me to see his pie chart and his data. So what's cool is you can friend people around the box, and you can look at some ideas for like what are they eating. I look at Michael Lang's pretty much daily because I know that he has his numbers in check, and he really digs in and finds out about what to do on diet in terms of performance. So Yeah, I would say take a look at this and try and get familiarized with this stuff. It without a doubt will help your performance. It will help the way you look, and it will let you see how much you are not eating, right? So make it happen.